Now, back to the sauce. I'll add a little bit of seasoning. Just a little bit of seasoning. Rachel. Well, today's lesson. The importance of durable Kohler cast iron sinks. And honesty is the best policy.
It's now time to turn things over to Chef Ulrich. I understand this week we're working with edamame. Now, if you're saying edawati, edamame is the Japanese term for soybeans. And believe me, they're yummier than they sound.
First thing, let's get a little bit of sesame oil into a pan. Pan is nice and hot. Sesame oil is in. While that's heating up, we're going to season the steak. A little bit of salt. Both sides. A little bit of pepper as well. And what I'm using today is a little flank steak. I like flank steak because it has a lot of flavor. And if you slice it against the grain, which I'll show you at the end, it can actually be a nice tender piece of steak as well. So again, just dredge it through the salt and pepper that's left as excess on the plate and into our pan. Nice hot pan, an immediate sizzle. It's going to sear in all that lovely flavor that's inside the meat. We're going to start assembling our sauce that is going to go with the steak and with the noodles. The noodles, by the way, are soba noodles, and you just cook them off in water the way you would do regular pasta. And then what I've done here is just tossed them and coated them in a little bit of sesame oil. That's to stop them from sticking, so that when you reheat them again, you don't end up with this, this bundle of pasta that's all stuck together. And then over to our edamame here. What you do is you take the little, and they look just like pea shoots, open them up, take them out, and they're ready to go. Just simply like you would do a regular sugar bean or a snap bean. That's the way that you work with those. Let's take a look at our steak over here. It's had about a minute or so. We're just going to leave it a little bit longer here. Get some of our other ingredients together that we need for our sauce. I've got some lemon juice here. Add the lemon juice, a little bit of acid, that's always nice to have. I've got some hoisin sauce. Hoisin sauce, again, you'll find in most Asian stores as well as supermarkets. And just 2 or 3 nice big tablespoons of the hoisin sauce. Take a knife, put the garlic down on your cutting board, smash it with the back of a knife, and that just makes it easier to chop the garlic when you're ready to use it. There we go. And into our marinade. At this point now, we'll turn over our flank steak. You can see a really nice sear on this. At this point now, the side that's been cooking is a nice medium rare, and we're going to do that with the other side as well. Just going to turn down my heat slightly at this point. Got some sweet chili sauce, about a tablespoon of that, and then a little cornstarch. And the cornstarch is going to thicken our sauce as we cook it. Take a spoon, mix all these ingredients together, and this is going to be our sauce for our steak and noodles. There we go. Great. At this point now, the steak is probably nice and medium rare. I'm going to take it out of the pan. I'm just going to let it rest for a while. I am going to cook it a little bit more, so I'm going to undercook it at this point. Put some red peppers into the pan. Take our edamame. There we go. And just toss all the ingredients together. They cook very quickly. You can see here already that the peppers are starting to wilt, and by the time the peppers get nice and soft and you get a little bit of a softer texture in your mouth, they will be all cooked. At this point now, I'm going to take some ginger. This is pickled ginger. Mix that in. And I want to keep the pickled ginger as fresh as possible, so that's why it's going in towards the end. While I'm eating this, I want to be able to taste the ginger. There we go. And now we're going to take our sauce. Nice low heat at this point. The cornstarch will act as a thickening agent. And as this gently comes up to a little bit of a simmer, the sauce will become thicker. Perfect. Really making sure that we coat all our ingredients well in the sauce. At this point, as I said, the steak is going to be nice and rare, but we are going to cook it a little bit longer. Take the steak off the plate, onto our cutting board. And as I said, if you cut the steak against the grain, this can be a really nice tender piece of meat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that in half. There we go. And then slice it against the grain into little strips. Put that back into the pan again. As you can see, it's a beautiful, nice, red, rare piece of meat. I really don't want to cook it much beyond that, but I do want to coat the steak with the sauce that's in the pan. There we go. We're going to take our noodles now, which obviously are cooled down, back into the pan again, and just gently toss all those ingredients together, making sure that you really coat them well in the sauce. Ingredients are nicely mixed together, and at this point now, we're ready to do our plate up. Grab a pair of tongs, twirl the pasta, go. Nicely into the middle of the bowl, putting the steak on top, and we're just going to top it with a little of the edamame. Garnish with a little bit of fresh cilantro, little salad of that right on top, and a lovely, fresh, healthy dish that you can make at home easily again.
I absolutely love this recipe. Thanks, Chef. Now, if you missed jotting this recipe down, or if you want to catch it again, log on to our show's website, yourlifetv.com.